Okay, next up we have another 9mm round. This is the 115 grain Nosler Assured Stopping Power, or ASP round. As you can see here, it is a brass case round. It has a very plain, basic head stamp on there. This is a standard pressure round. The hollow point here is, to me, doesn't look that impressive or unique. It looks like almost like a standard UMC Remington hollow point, but we will see how it does. The box here, this is what it looks like if you just see it in the store. And the box claims velocity at the muzzle of 1170 feet per second. It does not say what test barrel was used, probably 4 or 5 inch test barrel. And it does say here that it has controlled expansion and penetration for effective energy transfer. Again, with assured stopping power, I'm hoping that it performs well and lives up to the name. So stay tuned, and we'll see how this guy does at the range. Okay, there's still some room in the block, so we're going to test out these Nosler ASP Assured Stopping Power 115 grain 9mm. And we're going to send them through the 3.1 inch, through the 3.1 inch Ruger LC9S. And if they do well enough, then we'll try them again, and there's enough room in the block, we'll try them in the SIG. Here we go. $1037, 1037. Okay, that looked pretty good. This is where the ASP round, Nosler ASP round went in. And you can see there's the track down here. Made it into the second block and landed right down in there. It's a pretty good wound track for 9mm. Again, it didn't, it looks like it spun in there instead of tumbling. You can see right next to it, this is the Federal round, and that was more of a tumbling effect that one took. So I guess, tumbling can be effective, but is it going to consistently do that? I don't know. I'd rather have a hollow point expand like this one did. And from the side here, damage is pretty good here. That's this track right here, the ASP round, and it goes right there into the second block. Total distance on that, we'll measure this up. Total distance on this one is, leading edge top down, is roughly 12 1/4 inches in there. Well, again, I'm not, sometimes the camera is not perfectly directly over the top there, but it's down in there right at 12 1/4. And if we dig that out, we'll see what it looks like. Sorry, I've only got 2 hands, and sometimes it's more than a 2-hand job here to do this. So there we go. There's the ASP round, Nosler. Put this down here. Hopefully we don't drop it. There we go. Pretty good performance from that one. We're going to try that one again with 3.7 inch SIG P365 XL barrel now. $1083, 1083. Okay, well, that was an interesting result. Again, I rolled these blocks up a little bit because I'm trying to keep it so I can take the shots and hit them where the camera can get a good view of them. So that one went in right here. Again, my camera I usually set up to the right-hand side during the mornings. Pretty good damage track in here. You can hopefully see that. That's this track right up here. It goes in, and then the problem is it got out the first block, it hit the second block, and actually pushed it. These were together. Pushed this block back, but didn't actually penetrate into the second block. And each of these blocks, as you can see here, is right about 10 inches deep. So that, and it's landing right there on the base, right between these two blocks. So that made it 10 inches, had enough force to push that second block back a little bit. These probably weigh about maybe 12 pounds each. So push that block back, but it didn't penetrate it. So, yeah, I mean, again, pretty good damage track in there. The one on the bottom here that you can see is from the SIG, the 3.7 inch SIG barrel. The one on the top here is from the 3.1 inch barrel. So both did pretty good tracks. But again, as far as the penetration goes on this, only 10 inches of penetration, but wow, is that a pretty big hollow point, pretty big piece of lead. That's impressive, actually. So again, the one on the right is from the LC9S. The one on the left here is the one from the 3.7 inch SIG. So that is a lot of energy transfer. I mean, 10 inches of penetration, but that is pretty impressive, actually. So we'll measure them up and talk more back at home. 1040, 1040. 1071, 1071. Okay, both those ASP rounds hit nearly in the same spot. There's two side-by-side holes there, but you can see it from top down, or at least from maybe from the side here. You can see that they did make separate tracks, and it was the top track here that went straight and went all the way through the block. And then the bottom track did that little bit of damage in there, not a lot. And that's from the 3.7 inch barrel. So not great. Made it all the way to the end of the block, which again, it's not as impressive as the homemade blocks because these are not quite as long. But this one made it to 17 inches down in there. And I'll dig that guy out and show you what that looks like. All right, there we go. The one on the top was from the 3.7 inch into the homemade ballistics gel. The one on the bottom is from the 3.7 inch into the clear ballistics. And then on the right here, we have the from the 3.1 inch into the homemade ballistics gel, and the 3.1 inch passed all the way through. And again, that was about 18 inches of gel, and I forgot to put my backer up today, so I didn't capture that round. Maybe I'll throw the backstop up and try to take one more with the 3.1 inch just to see if it actually expanded or not. The track in the block didn't look like it, but I got room in there, so we'll try one more shot with the 3.1 inch ASP. 1024, 1024. Okay, a little bit better. That one went in right here. You can see the distinctly separate track. Again, not very impressive, as it doesn't look like it's doing anything except spinning in there. Went all the way through the block, hit my barrier, knocked it off the table, and the round landed right here. And as you can see, it did not expand. It's got some material stuck in there and did not expand going through the clear ballistics. So there we go. We'll talk more about the Nosler ASP 115 grain back at home. 115 Nosler ASP rounds, 3.1 inch LC9S. 1036. 1057. 1045. 3.7 inch SIG P365XL. Error. 1102. 1110. 1045. Okay, we are back here from the range with the 115 grain 9mm Nosler Assured Stopping Power, or ASP rounds. They did fine. I don't know that they did great. Again, the clear ballistics seems to be a tough test for most of these rounds to overcome in the calibrated homemade ballistics gel. They did quite well, but again, I'm looking for rounds that do well in really both mediums. These rounds, I recently picked them up from, I think it was from opticsplanet.com. I paid right around just under $23 a box, and then plus tax, it was free shipping. So worked out to about 47 cents a round for this box of 50, which is pretty good for self-defense rounds. I recently tested, as you may have seen, the 124 grain Nosler, their sporting rounds. This is their new version Nosler rounds, and this is 115 grain. As you saw there, the energy on these was about right around 300 foot-pounds of energy. The 3.7 inch was 299, I think, and the 3.1 was a little bit less than that. The speeds were pretty good. The average speeds on these, as you saw, the 3.1 overall average was 1040, and the 3.7 overall was 1082. And that was a 6-shot average from the 3.1 and a 5-shot average from the 3.7. The spreads was actually pretty impressive. From the 3.1 inch, again, from the 3.1 inch, the spread was only 33 feet per second in 6 shots. And from the 3.7 inch, it was 65 feet per second in 5 shots. So not a bad spread for a small barreled test. They did pretty well. Again, we'll take a look here at these and just kind of show you. This was the 3.1 inch into the homemade calibrated ballistics gel. Pretty good expansion there from this particular round. Unfortunately, we had 2 pass-throughs. Oh, excuse me, sorry, I keep dropping the rounds. We had 2 pass-throughs into the clear ballistics from the 3.1 inch, and just the speeds on those, so you're aware, they were pretty similar. I did do 2 tests there, and it was 1040 feet per second and 1024 feet per second. The round that hit the homemade ballistics gel was going 1037. So it expanded at roughly the same speed. It actually 3 feet per second slower than the first one that hit the clear ballistics. And it expanded in the homemade ballistics gel. So for whatever that's worth, I just thought I would point that fact out. The round that first hit the homemade ballistics gel from the 3.7 inch, I thought was quite impressive. That's this one here. I thought this was quite an impressive performance. We had a couple of wings sticking out on the side too here, but that lead really did get pushed back quite a ways. And again, that was only from a 3.7 inch barrel. And this one hit that round at 1083. I think the box advertises 1150, so this was less than what the box is claiming is basically an ideal speed for these. The one into the clear ballistics, I did pull that plug out of there so you can kind of see what this looks like. It's not quite as big as the shorter barrel into the homemade ballistics gel, but still did pretty good in clear ballistics from the 3.7 inch barrel. So we'll go ahead and we'll weigh these up, and while we weigh them up here, I'll give you the expansions on these. So here was this was the round out of the 3.1 inch into the homemade ballistics. Again, we really have no weight loss. It expanded to 0.49 inches, 0.51 inches, and 0.54 inches at the max. There was no expansion in the clear ballistics, so we didn't measure this one up. Again, no weight loss, and there's probably some plugged material still in that one. The 3.7 inch into the homemade ballistics, no weight loss on that, which is impressive considering how much lead got exposed. The expansion on this one was very good. 0.59 inches, 0.61, and 0.66 inches at the max, where it had that wing I was talking about on there. 0.6 inches there across with those wings. So again, pretty good on that one. And then into the clear ballistics, again, no weight loss, and the expansion was 0.48, 0.49, and 0.51 inches. So we mentioned the energy, and that's really, there's really one other item I want to talk about, and this was something I touched base on previously in an earlier video I had done. I haven't really brought this back again, but I wanted to bring it up because I thought this round was kind of interesting. And for this round, I looked at the 3.7 inch into the homemade ballistics gel, and what I was looking at was a number called the bullet force. And essentially it's looking at the energy transfer. We talk about the energy a lot, and I know the FBI wants 12 to 18 inches of penetration to hit vitals and whatnot, but there's this number, the bullet force, is looking at essentially how quickly is that energy transferred from the object in motion into the object that's essentially still. And so in this case, it kind of rewards shorter penetration depths, and obviously we want to get close to that 12, and this one got to 10 inches. And so what it'll use is it uses its speed, the mass, and the penetration depth to compute how quickly that energy is transferred into the target. And so, for instance, I looked at the last 3 tests that I had information from the homemade ballistics gel using a 3.7 inch barrel into with a 9mm, and I had 3 other rounds besides this one that I'm showing you here that went in. The XTP in 147 grain. That computed bullet force for that one was 1,083 newtons, 1083 newtons. The UMC 115 grain 9mm came in at 1,084 newtons. The Golden Saber 124 grain plus P round, which had excellent performance in the homemade ballistics gel. I just didn't have clear ballistics when I tested that. But that one came in at 1,410 newtons. So quite a bit more than the XTP and the UMC. And again, that was a 124 plus P rated round. Well, this is 115 grain standard pressure. This came in at 1,597 newtons of force, which essentially means that the energy from this round was transferred into the target essentially more quickly than even the 124 grain plus P Golden Saber round. So when we talk about stopping power with some of these rounds, we want obviously that penetration to hit those vitals and to try to stop a threat or what have you. But there may be some credence to just energy transfer, and that's the only thing I wanted to bring up in this particular video at the end, was just talking about how out of these 4 different rounds that I just mentioned, this one, at least in from the 3.7 inch into the homemade calibrated ballistics gel, had the highest and by a fair amount of energy transfer, of computed energy transfer. So take that for what it's worth. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please comment, share, like, etc., and stay tuned for the next one.